Hello, hello, beautiful beings. This is Lorian Rowan. This is Surfing Vuzuvaya. This is me in my pajamas again. La 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 la. Well, this you may remember, especially I've been reposting some of my original Surfing Vuzuvaya videos too from 3 years ago, which is fun because the point really was like I don't want filters. I just to show up and be myself as a representation of what is actual. Even though, again, at the beginning, I would not be anywhere near a bed, I was very sensitive to the fact that, yeah, I was sensitive. And I'm still sensitive, but what am I sensitive to and how am I using that sensitivity? That is a motherfucking point right now, my friends. So, keys. So interestingly enough, in this, I live in a place where the spirits here are the pleasant. You say spirits is way too general. The Alush here in specificness are the very presence, the very beings of plant, earth, nature. They are not, ooh, maybe, the story here, the Cancun airport, huge airport, was having endless mysterious problems. Nothing would work. Blah 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 blah. And so the government, so it was diagnosed that the problem was that the Alush were not happy with what was going on. So there is a permanent Alush house where offerings are made, and the moment that this was consecrated and created by the Mayan elders, the problem stopped, right? So similar things were happening in my building where the water just couldn't be repaired. And they had elders come, and there were other things just going on that were just loco. And so they had it, and it was just looked at, and it was realized that the Alushir were unhappy. So there was a huge cleansing that happened, and the ritual just everything opened up again. It was just gorgeous. And there's a maintenance though, and the maintenance is that twice a week there's a cleansing and honoring process, which is supposed to happen in the whole building, and that has went on nicely for a few weeks, and then it has been lapsing, and you watch, my eye, especially the day after the whole house had been scrubbed top to bottom, and I actually had someone planning on next Monday coming with me to defrost my fridge and get all that part all nice and do some other deep cleaning stuff in my stuff. Instead, I woke up to, the, the freezer spontaneously defrosting. And for those of you that don't remember that in Canada, the ice box used to get full of condensation until there's barely any room in the freezer, and then you have to turn everything off. Take everything out of the fridge, turn everything off, and let it all melt. And you catch that. And then, but anyway, so this is like, this is a couple gallons of gross water because it's already gone through your food and your vegetables, and it's pretty exciting. So instead, that happened, and the electricity was out in another place, and my keys, which were right beside me on the patio, I looked for them for 12 hours yesterday. I actually ended up getting help going through the garbages because the only thing I'd done other than meditate on my patio was take the garbage out that morning, which is usually, this is Mexico, it's usually better to do that at night. Because little critters, There's a lot of bugs here. And no, we don't want to poison them out of existence because they live here too. The difference when I first came here and I feel something crawl on me and I'd panic. And then yesterday I was sitting at the restaurant and, a little fly thing lands on me and I was like, hey, buddy. And then, felt an ant crawled up my leg, so I transferred it to the tree. It's just part of life. I'm part of the landscape. Why wouldn't an ant crawl up my leg? You know? The why wouldn't a fly land on me? It's like I'm the same as everything else. So there was the keys, and keys are so naturally magical. Keys are a liminal space. Right? When I talk about liminal spaces, that's the spaces in between, the spaces in between dimension. Classic is why do people meditate at sunset and sunrise? Because the liminal space in between the night and the day, that gorgeous, intoxicating, there's almost a smell to it, that gorgeous colors of the indigo range when you can't quite see the sun or the moon, that you can feel their presence on the horizon, or as this. So as a transition in between dimensions, the doorways, the liminal spaces. And keys are the liminal spaces always, because, the nature of, interestingly, in neuroscience, we know that doorways cause that the brain does some certain amount of resets with doorways, and that's why traditionally they're really good places to put healthy boundaries, to put cleansing processes, decorating and celebrating our doorways, having special knocks for friends, right? Having special knocks that are part of your personality, how you approach a doorway. Um, the Jewish tradition of keeping the symbol on the doorway. Hindu, there's often Ganesh has a tradition of watching over doorways. The same here with the Hagwar in this area Maya tradition. Yeah. And so liminal spaces, keys are incredibly important. So this is one of the reasons why traditionally, in the fairy realm, this is considered too. Keys are often taken as a joke with the humans, playing with the humans, toying with the humans. You know, I do remember times in my life, like, oh my gosh, I remember in Santa Fe, living in this beautiful, huge space and literally having searched absolutely everywhere for my keys, finding them in the middle of my coffee table, in the middle of the room, and realizing that yes, it was a cute joke, but also we needed to have a conversation. That the natural beings were feeling that they were trying to start a conversation with me. They needed some health and attention in the context of our relationship. Yeah. So liminal spaces, the keys, and the idea that in this time. So again, the Schumann resonance today is off the effing charts, buddies. So you may be feeling a lot, right? Our hearts are feeling all of the things. And blood, I've read about a number of people I know having blood, very sensitive, beautiful people, especially having blood pressure issues right now, because it's literally like the air pressure is physically changing. The physical vibrations we're taking in are changing. They're higher vibration. We need to just keep letting that happen, transmute it, just be at peace with it. Because the peace is the most important thing of all. What is the key to peace? There are so many keys to peace, and you don't need to hold them in your hand because keys exist in the liminal spaces. Keys are the liminal spaces. Keys and doorways, part and parcel, part of the same thing. So you don't need to hold the keys in your hand. You don't even need to know what they are. You have access to them. It is your birthright. We are the Akasha. We wrote the script. This is our creation. Yeah? This is the hologram you're designing, not as a punishment. You're not tricking yourself. This is a beautiful dance. This is a symphony. It's a beautiful game. Why is it these things? Because we decide, because we are the creators right now. So join me. Let's wax our surfboards with the keys that we need today. In this transition, this is the shift. This is the shift. Shifts and goggles. Shifts and goggles, my friend. I love you and I'm with me. You and I know you're with me. Because I can feel you. and you are the blessings.